Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Herod was the one who had John the Baptist arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John had said to Herod, "It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herodias harbored a grudge against him and wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man, and kept him in his custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. She had an opportunity to, one day, when Herod was on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers and military officers and the leading men of Galilee. Herodias' own daughter came in and performed a dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask me whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you." He even swore many things to her. "I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom." She went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" She replied, "The head of John the Baptist." The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. "I want you to give me at once, on a platter, the head of John the Baptist." The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So he promptly dispatched an executioner with orders to bring back his head. He went off and beheaded him in prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl. The girl in turn gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. The Gospel of the Lord. John the Baptist was punished because he would not be silent. He would not be silent about the truth. He paid a great price for this. And yet, we are all in the same position. We are challenged to not be silent about the truth. We're living right now in a culture that wants to stifle and constrict our beliefs and our faith for all kinds of crazy things. We're criticized as Catholics, and yet we have an obligation from baptism to be loyal to our King, Christ the King. And so we must not be silent about the truth. Now, if you're squeamish about protesting out loud and all that, you might want to do that, but sometimes that becomes very messy. The best way to live out the truth of the gospel is to first not be a hypocrite, and secondly, to really embrace our Catholic faith wholeheartedly, to be faithful to Mass, faithful to commandments, faithful to the Church's teachings. These things no one can silence because they come from the depths of our heart. They come from the imperative nature of the soul that nudges us to continue to live in the truth and honor the Lord our God and our neighbor as ourselves. You can see in the text here of St. Mark that Herod is squeamish about what he has to do. It's his conscience gnawing at him and saying, do the right thing, will you? We must be complicit with those voices that come from the deep interior life that we nurture through prayer and the sacraments, especially what we receive in the Eucharist. And when we come to communion, to be faithful, and when we say amen, that means I agree with everything the Catholic Church holds and teaches. But do we really? Is there room for improvement and polish in the way we not only live our faith, but reveal it to others by our actions and our words? And so John the Baptist, they wanted to silence him. He would not be silenced. The irony of this is that a martyr speaks very loudly in the end, doesn't he? People never forget martyrs. That's why they would be called by St. Tertullian the seed, the blood of martyrs is the seed of faith. And so here we are. We may have to suffer at times because of our faith. And yet, we must have the courage to not be silenced, especially by what we do in living a Catholic life.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui aquam meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia.